morning, everybody. It is Friday, and as everybody's been waiting, we're out here today with Captain Tony Buffa, Captain Mike Urema. We've had a lot of fun so far this morning. Let's do the fishing report first. Everybody's anxiously waiting for the announcement of the winner of the giveaway, but let's do the
Tony's checking the graph.
checking the graph. Let's do our morning fishing report. Air temp was in the high 60s this morning when we left Freemac Marine down in... Tony, do you consider this the east end or the middle?
Middle of the lake, Lakeport.
Middle?
Yeah.
So we went out...
Sprague Creek comes in.
We went out of the middle, out of Freemac Marina this morning, which for me is unusual. I don't get down this far very often, and it's been a lot of fun. We water temp is in the high 70s. We had a light... Well, it was I shouldn't say light. It was a little stiff there for a while. We had a northwest wind, probably 5 to 10, more on the 10 side. It's backed off here recently. It's been fairly cloudy this morning, and we have been back and forth between... You were throwing a jig and wrap Mike for a while.
I threw a jig in for a bit until the blade bait bite picked up.
Till the blade bait bite started. I was throwing a blade bait, and then we were throwing... Tony, you were throwing a blade.
I started with jig and a worm, no contact, and then I switched.
Yep. And so we've been going back and forth, and we also stopped, and couple spots we've been throwing worm harnesses, and Mike here, Big Fish, just smoked a big 22¼ inch walleye. That's the biggest one I've seen in a while. Big fat head, big thick shoulders. Boy, it was a nice fish. And that was on a casted worm harness. And I don't remember where we were, but were we skinny in that over the top of weeds, or were we on a...
I'm going to say we're probably about 10.
We had just left the weeds, so we're on the edge.
On the outer edge.
About 10 to 12 feet of water.
Yep. And I'm at the back of the boat, and I look over at Mike, and he goes, whoa, and reels right into it, and it was right there. I mean, you hit that fish 15 feet off the boat?
Close.
Right there. And they're notorious followers, so... So we're getting to that time where we're getting ready to head in. I don't know, we probably got 5 fish in the box. We let that big one go. We've had a couple shorts, a couple sheep's head, big sunfish, a bunch of gobies.
Missed bites.
A couple misses. That's been our morning, and it's been a lot of fun. And you know, Tony said it too. He's enjoying himself because this is one of those days that is a guide, and all 3 of us are guides and charter captains in this boat. This is a day where everybody is doing their own thing, and you don't have to be right there with clients. You know, it's one of those stress-free days, and you don't get them very often in the guiding world. But so I don't know, I think we're ready to get this winner announced. I don't even know yet. We picked the winner yesterday. I was fishing with Don Birdie yesterday, and when we came in, his neighbor was walking out to his truck, and I said, "You mind coming over here?" And I had all these little pieces of paper in a tumbler from South Shore Rod and Gun Club, and we tumbled them, and he reached in, picked one out, and I have not looked at it yet. So we'll get ready too. I did write winner on it. So we're gonna get ready and we're gonna open this up. So I recognize this name from being in the comments at all times. Jim Carker. And on Facebook or on YouTube, I know he has his wife's name in there with his name on YouTube. It's Jim, and I think his wife's name is Carrie. Jim and Carrie Carker. That is our winner for this huge giveaway. We have all kinds of stuff. We'll get a hold of Jim, or Jim get a hold of me in the next 24 hours, and we will set up the time where we're going to go and we're going to fish. Thank you, everybody, every single person, for all the support during this giveaway. Both of you guys in this boat too, I want to give you a hearty thanks. Tony, you've shared a lot of my stuff daily. Mike, of course, I always tag you in all my posts, and the 3 of us have really, you know, you two have really meant a lot to the channel, to me personally, with all your help and support. It's really been very nice, and I can't appreciate it anymore. I really.
Well, the Awakening brand is a very kind brand, very positive brand. We need more of that in the world today.
Amen to that.
If more people would think the way you think, this would be a wonderful society. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah,
Thanks,
I
Tom.
think you're reaching more people than you realize. This interweb goes more than southern Oswego and northern Onondaga County.
Right.
I'm getting guys contacting me from Indiana, from Kansas, from Nebraska, asking about stuff or saying that they saw it from you. So thank you for that. Your reach is, your net's big. It's got a big hoop. It's grabbing a lot of people. So keep up the good work.
Thank you, guys. That means a lot. It gives me chills to hear you say that, and especially from people that I really like and respect. Not just as people, but in this industry. I mean, both of you have built a name for yourself. Tony, you said this is your 47th year of guiding.
This is my 47th. At the end of this year, it'll be full 47 years.
That's
47 years of extreme pleasure.
That's incredible. And to see the amount, and we've been talking all morning. This will be a full-length video here in the next couple days, and you'll see all the conversation. We've had some great conversations this morning, but to be able to talk to Tony out on the water and talk to him about all the things that he's seen and done over the years and how the fishery has changed, good and bad, and all of the things that this is the biggest inland lake in New York State, and this is the home water to a lot of people over a lot of generations. I mean, my grandpa and all those guys that came home after the war, this was a very, how do you say it? This was a welcome reprieve from the horrors that they had seen, to come home and be able to go fishing on a lake like this. And the city of Syracuse used to be such a hub of blue collar life that it supported a lot of people, and this is where they would come and spend their time. Nowadays, this lake is ringed with beautiful homes. In the old days, it was all camps. Nobody lived on these shores full time. They were all little camps. Most of them didn't have heat in them or even electricity a lot of those times. They were just summer camps, and how things have changed out here, and for the good and for the bad in some ways. But we're enjoying a fishery nowadays. Mike, you travel the tournament circuit.
Yeah.
Now, we might not have giant fish here, but boy, we got a lot of them. What other lake would you compare this to outside of New York State?
As far as setting up for it, I mean, it's probably 1/1000th the size of Lake Erie, and we've got 1/1000th the fish they have. So, I mean, the weather can be devastating on that lake. It can be devastating fast here, but the fishery, for the size of the lake, I would say it's hard to say it's comparable, because nothing's comparable to Erie. But just the way it sets up, the way the fish migrate, the way that they spawn in certain areas, and they're almost predictable year over year, but on just a tiny scale. It's different than the Finger Lakes. It's different than the river systems we saw all year. And I don't have a lot of experience out in those Wisconsin lakes that are, probably the best walleye lakes in the world. But I would say it's like a tiny microcosm of what Lake Erie has.
No, we got to be close to some of those, and maybe not the Millie Lacks or some of those, the Winnebagos for sheer size, but boy, we have a walleye fishery here that really is unmatched. And for what we do in central New York, we have such a beautiful resource. I mean,
Two things about our walleyes here. Totally contaminant free. No industry ever put pollution in this lake.
Yep.
Maybe we got some coliforms coming in here from, a sewage leakage, something coming off of the farmlands, but nothing nasty. No mercury,
yep.
no dioxin, no PCBs. And the other thing, there isn't any place else that have walleyes that taste like ours.
No.
That's true.
No, that's for sure. And it's certainly the size is conducive to that. We fish, this is a fishery that is 20-inch top end usually. I mean, you caught a 22 1/4 this morning. That's a big fish. I mean, that is a big fish for this lake. Our normal is that 18 inches our sweet spot range. But so obviously a smaller fish is going to taste better, but we really have such a, I can't say it enough, and for everybody that is able to come out and enjoy this lake on a daily basis, like I am, and like we are, and we live right here close to it, we're spoiled. And although I don't think anybody in this boat takes it for granted, I don't. I certainly don't ever take for granted that I can come out here and you should really be able to expect to catch fish every single day you're out here, one way or another. Not that we always do, but you should come out with that expectation. We have such a healthy lake and fishery that we should be able to come out and do our thing. And it doesn't really matter. We told you 3 different presentations we were showing today. All around us we saw trollers, and then the trollers are trolling sticks or they're pulling worm harnesses. So there's 5 different ways right there that you could do it, and there's another 5 we could think of right off the top of our head. So it doesn't really matter how you catch them. You can almost do anything you want and expect to come out and be successful on this lake. So
we were on a shoal. We were in one point. We were just under 4 foot of water.
3.8. We hit one spot.
The skinny spot was 3.8, and I could see boats out there in the trench. That's almost a 50-foot corner, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
yep.
They're off the shorelines, but they're in shallow water.
We fished nice structure this morning. We had rock, we had weeds, we had clearings, we had flats, and we caught fish in every one of those places.
Yeah. Well,
Water's clean and clear. It's
Matt,
exchanging.
if I can say one more thing,
sure.
if you're experiencing stress in your life, add water.
Yeah. 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 You guys can chime in on this. I've never seen anyone upset while reeling in a fish. I've never seen anybody be like, this stinks, I don't want to do this. I've never seen it. It's immediate medication.
Depends on who's netting.
All right, everybody. Thanks for everything. Jim Carker, congratulations. This is a huge deal. I cannot wait to see you standing there with all this stuff we're going to pile on you. So have a great day, everybody. Have a great Friday. And we're going to do a big fat keep your tip up on 3. 1, 2, 3. Keep your tip up.